Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, Graven on His Palms. Thank you so much for tuning in again. If you're new, subscribe so you can get updated with future videos. I want to get right into this video and ask you a question. Do you really know what you want? If someone says they know what they want, they know what they're looking for, and that's all they're going for, then obviously you want the best for yourself. And so what you want and what you're looking for is what you believe is going to be best for you. Does that make sense? I hope so. If not, let me know down in the comments, yeah? That's a kind of fair statement. Maybe you've studied out yourself long enough. You kind of know your character. You know what will blend well. But I'm just like, heart is deceitfully wicked above all things. Who can know it? And sometimes our desires or what we want is not in line with God's desire. And so what we want won't actually make us happy, won't be the best for us, but we want it anyway because that's all we know to want. If you look at the children of Israel in the wilderness, right? They came out of bondage. They came out of Egypt. God brought them out. And he changed their diet when he brought them out. He put them on manna. But we know that they started asking for the food that they had back then in Egypt, in bondage. They wanted that food. They kept asking. And what did God do? He gave them the food of bondage. And then what happened? Some of them died because of it. It started coming out of their nose. And so what they desired and what they wanted, which they thought was best for them, would actually cause them destruction. Wasn't good for them. It was bad for them. In fact, it was the worst thing for them at that moment. So I'm applying that to when we say we know what we want. I want us to question what our desires are based on. Our current desires, our current spec that we're looking for in a guy. What is that based on? Is that based on your past experiences, your past life, who you've been with that maybe God didn't want you to be with, the experience you've had that maybe God didn't want you to have? Is that what that's based on? You might say no. You might say yes. How do you know? I want you to investigate that because sometimes our desires are based on the past experiences we've had that God didn't even want us to really have. They wasn't to be our experience. And so when we come to Christ, our minds have to be transformed so that our desires are after his desires. Otherwise, there's a big risk that God could give you your desire, what you think you want, what you think would make you happy, but you'll never be as happy as God would want you to be. Or you'll never reach a height of happiness on earth that's a foretaste of heaven. And that's what I'd love to experience, by the way, in any relationship, a foretaste of heaven. I want to share one verse with you that really got me thinking on this point that, wow, sometimes we have desires and we think that our desires is going to give us the utmost happiness on earth if only they were just fulfilled. But God is reminding me that his desire for me is more than what I could even think of. Ephesians 3 verse 20. Let's read that together. It says, "Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think." Oh, did you hear that? God is able to do exceedingly abundantly more than what we ask or think. We can't even think of what God can do for us. We cannot even think of what God is able to do for us. We cannot think of the happiness that God has in store for us. We cannot think of the joy that God has in store for us. We can't even think it. So when we think we know what will make us happy, think again. Think again, friends. Because God's saying you can't think of the height of happiness I want to take you to. You can't think of the match I have in a man for you so perfectly that you will have a foretaste of heaven. You can't even think of that. You can't think of how wonderful that would even be. You can't even think it. Because whatever your thought is, however wonderful your thought is, I can do more than that. That's what God is saying. And I'm so encouraged, friends. What am I encouraged to do? To wait upon the Lord, especially in the matters of relationships. So do not be deceived into thinking that what you want or what your current desires are right now are greater than what God's desire is for you. They're not. And I don't want you to be deceived into thinking that you have to use unrighteous ways or means to work out your own relationship. Don't, because you feel like, you've seen the person that you want to be with. And so, let me give examples. Maybe somebody sees the person they want to be with, and because they so want this person, they feel like if they miss this person, they're going to miss their happiness. And so maybe they say, you know what, I think I need to get close to this guy and seduce him. Maybe they start lying to the guy about what they do and who they are and how they can cook this and cook that and do this and that. I want you to be encouraged that we don't need to do that. We don't need to go down that road of deception to try and get what we want. Because remember, God can do more than we can ask or think. And so let's just follow the Lord. Walk in his ways, trust in the Lord with all our heart, and lean not unto our own understanding, but in all our ways acknowledge him, and he will direct our path. Allow him to direct the path to a height of happiness that you could not think or even get for yourself. Remember that every good and perfect gift is from above. Is not by you scheming and finding it out. No, it's from above, from the Father of lights, of whom there is no shadow of turning. So I encourage you to wait upon the Lord. Allow him to give you your good and perfect gift as you walk in obedience to his way. I hope you're encouraged, friends. Remember that you are graven on his palms, and whatever concerns you concerns the Lord. Take care and ta-ta. Till next time, friends. Mwah!